Que lo que Knicks fans. Welcome to episode 42 of Knicks Fans Wallet. And in life, every good thing must come to an end. And we learned that the hard way when the Knicks lost to the Raptors at Madison Square Garden. It had a good thing going on. 8 game winning streak was filling the nine, but at the end of the day, too much Siakam. Another legendary night at Madison Square Garden. That boy dropped 50 plus. And shout out to the referees, man. Whew, a lot of questionable calls in that game, but can never blame the refs. The Knicks left a lot of points at the free throw line. We couldn't catch a damn rebound to save our lives at a moment of the game. So all in all, fun winning streak, and you know what that means. Got to start another one, start another winning streak, and we gonna talk about this new winning streak that we going on, coming on with Don Juan. What's going on, bro?
Yo, what's going on? What's going on, Triple M, man? Like you said, man, you got to start a new one. That's all it is. It's all it is, man. We can't be down on ourselves. It's an 8 game winning streak. It was a good run, and it was gonna come to an end eventually. But it's your boy Don Juan in the building. This Knicks fans wild and coming out of Off the Ball Network. Make sure to check out our guys out there. Make sure to check out the website for your everyday sport needs. But man, the Knicks, man, they doing some things, man. They're doing some things that I'm loving it. I'm loving the intensity that we got. Unfortunately, Grimes got hurt, but we got a little something building here, man.
Yeah, yeah. Good point on the Grimes, missing out on Grimes, bro. And yeah, bro, it was a fun winning streak, but we needed to lose a game. We needed to lose a game. We needed to lose a game, and now Jalen Brunson was locked down. So let's talk about it. But first, before we talk about it, bro, we got to bring on a very, very special guest. One of the most watched episodes on Knicks Fans Wild when we had this guest on a couple months ago. It's been way long overdue.
Yes,
It's one of
sir.
my favorite followers on Twitter. And in this Knicks content game, it's a lot. It's a lot of clutter. You want to support everybody, but sometimes you can't. But I definitely check out my guys here at Worldwide Knicks. You got my guy Alex. You got my guy Rafa. The tips hater. You know how that goes, man. And you got my boy Omar, man, in the building. Shout out to Omar. Thank you for joining the show once again, my brother. How are you feeling?
I'm doing great, man. Doing great, Mario. Doing great, Juan. Happy to be back. It took you guys a whole season to get me back in here, but you know, now it's we're all part of Off the Ball now. So doing writing for the website as well. So happy to be back on for sure.
Yeah, welcome
Yeah,
back,
man.
man.
Shout out to Off the Ball, and shout out to Omar. You got to check out his work. I'm gonna be putting up his work in the links below for the episode details. And check out our guys at Worldwide Knicks. Alex, Ralph, if you watching this, make sure you get a cup, sip with take a little shot with the
Hey,
kid, Triple M.
Rafa
Yeah,
wanted me to let you know that you owe him a drink of some sort, Mario. So I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know what that
All
was going
right.
on
I
there.
mean, that's my
Uh-oh.
boy, bro. That is my boy. I told you that's my boy, and I definitely going. I told him to come over. I told him to come over the river, and they were like, "That's what we call the pond now, the river." They want to get technical with me, man. They want to get technical with me. Shout out to the guys, man. We definitely got to collab soon. It's gonna be a great show whenever we talk about uh,
Facts, facts.
New York Knicks with the whole gang. But let's talk about this 8 game winning streak that was snapped. Knicks versus Raptors, and Don Juan, you said it. We was missing Grimes, so as soon as that started, I'm like, oh man, missing Grimes. It might be a tough one, and it was. You could see that we were missing him from the beginning of the game, and we just had no question for Siakam, man. Siakam was just tips through everything at Siakam, and it was just not affecting that guy. He had 52 points, 9 rebounds, and 7 assists. A masterful game from. He shot 18 free throws. This was reminding me of the Grant game when that man just shot a lot of free throws and parade at the line. But Don Juan, I'm gonna start with you, bro. 8 game
Mm,
losing streak. I'm gonna ask you guys a question. What did you learn about the Knicks during this 8 game winning streak?
mm. That's a good one. Well, there's a few things. Finally, I felt like we got a clear identity. That was something that we've been lacking for a bit.
Hmm.
and defensive minded, physical team, aggressive on the boards, and then they bring like in honing that bully type of offense that I feel like that's is perfect for our team. We got a lot of bullies on our team, so we got to live up to those names. But and also I feel like we're capable to compete. I feel like we compete with the good teams. I feel like good teams, I'm not saying we're gonna beat them, but we're gonna compete. And I feel like that's what we need right now. Like we've been beating up on these bad teams, which we should, but I feel like now with this whole chemistry building, this trust that we got within the team, I feel like now with that and the confidence that because it seems like these guys are really confident in each other and in saying all that, I feel like that's gonna take him up another notch. And I can't wait till we face one of those top tier teams now, because we went to the game against the Bucks and there was just no at the time. That's when the rotation was what it was, and I felt like now I want to see this team now with what we building here, what they could do with a team like against the Bucks. Like I said, I'm not saying we're gonna beat them, but it's just different feel. And then another thing, the way that these young guys been balling, I feel like now these young guys actually contributing to wins is actually something that we've been like all Knicks fans have been saying. Let's play the young guys, and the fact that the
Yeah.
young guys are contributing to wins is huge, man. It's huge.
Yeah, you hit on it. I feel like that's the most important thing. We learned a little identity. We kept telling Knicks pick a direction, pick a direction. Hey, we picked a direction. We bench Rose for McBride. We bench Fournier. We put a 9-man rotation. It's questionable if you agree with it or not, but we picked a direction, and that's what we wanted to see. Omar, what you learned from this squad during this nice little 8-game heater?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna echo what you guys are saying. The team has an identity. I said this on our pod this past week, which was New York and the Knicks. There's like a love affair more so between the two when the Knicks play hard defense. We always romanticize the '90s and the early 2000s. Those are hard defense teams, right? And even right now, you're seeing with the injection of Deuce McBride, with the injection of Quentin Grimes into the starting lineup. Obviously, he missed yesterday's game against the Raptors, but they are now defending. They're active. Mitch is patrolling the paint, blocking everything that comes in there, altering shots. You're seeing RJ is allowed to be a little bit more free on the switches now as well. You're even seeing brief defensive moments of greatness from Julius, which is all you could
Oh,
ever really ask
your
for him.
favorite player.
That's
Your
my guy.
favorite player.
It only took me like 2 minutes to get into Julius Randle, but yeah, it's encouraging to see. And honestly, the way that they lost the game yesterday was also encouraging
Mhm.
because that lead for the Raptors got to double digits a couple times, and you could easily understand back to back. All right, it's just not our night. We'll go out and get them. But they fought back multiple times, just ultimately couldn't get it done, against Toronto, and like you said, Siakam had a great night, but it's encouraging to me, and Don Juan, I'm with you, man. I want to see how they do that against really high level teams in the East, like a Milwaukee, like a Boston, and but right now you got to be feeling good about the team. If Jalen Brunson has a slightly better night, we might win that game yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, so ultimately, I think the team's heading in the right direction now.
Yeah, man, and I gotta bring into someone who's devastated that the Knicks lost. Everybody's encouraged, but this guy he's like devastated and sad that the Knicks losing streak, the winning streak is over. Zebo, late to the party, bro. Late to the party. Welcome to the party, man. Say what's up to Omar to your right. Give that man a dap right there.
My guys, let's go. Let's go, man.
It's good.
What's
It's good.
popping, man?
Man, yeah, I'm a little. I mean, honestly, I'm not. I'm honestly, I'm super encouraged. I'm really not that. I'm not disappointed. No, man. I mean, listen, man. When you have a guy score 52 yesterday, and also presumably have a great game, I mean, it's gonna be tough. And yeah, and honestly, what you guys I was able to overhear your guys' conversation. But yeah, those back to backs, they're hard to again. These guys come with fresh legs, so and you can honestly, I could tell that with Jalen Brunson, once his shot wasn't falling, I could tell, okay, yeah, he's starting to get those tired legs, even with the rest that they did get in the fourth quarter of that Warriors game. So it's always hard to determine those back to backs. But yeah, I mean, honestly, man, I'm super encouraged. I love what I did see from the young guys. I do love the consistency of playing the young guys, and yeah, man. Honestly, I mean, Quentin Grimes, obviously he's been doing his thing, but yo, Deuce McBride, honestly, he's really been the difference maker. Because I was looking at it too. His defensive net rating is like best on the team right now. So just to see the effort that he's giving us off the bench is just super encouraging. And honestly, man, it was good to see D Rose out there too, because I think
Uh,
one of my yeah, no, honestly, it was super encouraging to see him out there because I think moving forward, one of my concerns and one thing I did speak to Triple M about yesterday is that I don't think an 8-9 man rotation is going to withstand through a whole season. So I hope obviously we need to see what happens during the trade deadline, but so we can go ahead and start getting more guys in our rotation. But overall, man, I'm super hyped right now. I'm not gonna lie, I'm hyped.
guys, yo, check your echo. We got a little bit of an echo right there, man. Make sure everything that is
Okay.
all good on your end. But yeah, you talked about Brunson. It's something to monitor, fellas. They put Bo Cruz on what's his real name? I forgot. But
Juancho.
Juancho. They put Juancho on Jalen Brunson, and they just put length on Brunson. So this is going to be a factor where the Raptors basically said, "Hey, RJ or Julius, if you want to kill us, you kill us." And you saw that in the fourth quarter where Brunson he really was deferring to RJ and to Julius because he just really couldn't get by with that length of the Raptors. So there's going to be something to monitor there where if teams pick that up, somebody got to pick up, somebody got to be clutch. Because you saw Julius, that ball just slipped out of my brother's hands right there at the end. And RJ, he made a couple big shots. He had a big dunk, but he also missed a couple wide open threes and stuff like that. So that's something to monitor here as we move forward. But yeah, you guys talked about everything about that. Winning streak is over. Let's just start a new one, fellas. Let's start a new one. Chicago, one in a row. Going into Christmas, going into the New Year's because we're going out to Texas, and we just gotta go and start off strong. But let's talk about all these other rumors here on Knicks Fans Wild, and a lot of rumors going on here as we approach the trade deadline. Is now less than 2 months away, and man, there is a lot to unpack here. First, I want to ask you guys if all things are considered right now, the Knicks keep playing how they're playing right now at about 500 level. What would you want the Knicks to do? Do you want them to be buyers or sellers at this year's trade deadline? Omar, I'm gonna start with you.
Here's the thing, guys. Like this team, they bring in Brunson, they re-sign RJ. They're committed to these guys allegedly. So to be like saying, "Oh, we're gonna package this and package that to be buyers at the deadline," I think ultimately their main objective at the deadline is going to be to get off of Fournier, get off of Cam, get off of D Rose. Guys who aren't in their rotation, whether that's for draft capital or a backup wing shooter or something like that. So that's what I've been calling for. It's not exciting. It's not get a superstar type trade, but I don't think that this team is really thinking that way. Unless something miraculous happens where somebody requests a trade
Mhm.
and demands out, and then he's like, "Oh, well, this is a once in a multiple season opportunity. We gotta go after it." But to me, just getting rid of the guys who are obviously unhappy that they're out of the rotation and getting some depth at the wing position, maybe somebody who could hit threes with 15 minutes off the bench type thing when RJ is off the floor.
Yeah, yeah, you mentioned this actually on your last show, which I found a very good point, where us Knicks fans we overhype our young players, and that's just a known fact. We really overhype our young guys. We got people calling McBride Marcus Smart sometimes, and it's just like, hold on now, he's just starting up. And it's gonna be interesting because you got guys like Quickly, guys like Obi, who are coming up on their extension, and you said it like, okay, where's your commitment level at? Because if you're committed to Julius Randle, what are you gonna do with Obi Toppin? You know what I mean? Like, it's that time now where they have to start. Uh, we talk about the cluster on this roster, and they have to start looking and have to make some hard decisions coming up this trade deadline and into next offseason. So I think that the Knicks I could see them selling off some pieces. No, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I think they could sell off some pieces. You mentioned the Fournier, the Evan, the D Rose or Cam, but I could see them making like a little Obi or quick move. I'm telling you, I really think that
I could see quickly moving as well. Yeah,
I could like you hear this, you hear these reports from Ian Begley and all these guys. These guys are not just saying stuff. So I can see them making some couple moves, but we still far off from there. But
Yeah.
let's see. But Don Juan, what you think about the Knicks as less than 2 months now?
Well, you kind of said it, man. You said it. You said that us Nick fans we overrate our players, and I want to hold on to our guys, man. Like if we, Omar said, we that's the strategy that I'm looking. Trade Cam. He's not getting no minutes. We don't have there's no reason for us to keep him. D Rose, unfortunately, there's also no minutes for him. Granted, there's some minutes for him now, and it seems determined that he wants to be on the bench, but for his career, it's probably best that he goes to another team. But in saying all that, I can see a lot. I can see the Knicks doing a lot, man. I keep hearing Bogdanovich, keep hearing Levine. I keep hearing a lot of guys that not that the Knicks should go after, but that I wouldn't be surprised if trading Obi for Bogdanovich with a pick, something along the lines like, but it also include Fournier, something in some package surrounding that. But I think the Knicks should just stay calm. There's no rush right now. You kind of need to monitor the situation. At the end of the day, you see the Bulls how they ended up trading a bunch of their assets away
Hmm.
to Orlando.
How bad does that trade look now?
If we could, and it's terrible. Initially, I mean, it looked good because you thought they were ready to compete. You thought Vucevic, but then there was a lot of holes they needed to fill, and unfortunately, they don't have enough
Man,
assets to do
if
that.
it was Wendell for Vucevic alone, Orlando still wins that trade.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's the crazy thing. Like Wendell's played that well down in Orlando. But
it's
yeah,
crazy. They
So I
got
hope the
France
Knicks could
Wagner.
get something, could get not get something like that, but in the sense like catch a lot of teams that are ready to sell and will take not they'll take lower than what they would want, well, what they would get on a usual market.
Yeah, that's a great point, Don Juan, because it's gonna be crazy because you see teams like the Bulls we just talked about, and like the Raptors who they just beat us, and the Wizards. These are a lot of teams that
Yeah,
they have questions, and let's just go right into it as we speak about the Bulls, because I know my boy Zebo, man, he loves this man. Man's been on the rumors right now, might be on the move. Zach Lavine, Zebo, I know you love Zach Lavine, bro. Tell
Hey,
me why you love Zach Lavine and why he will be such a good fit on the Knicks.
I mean, healthy. I think he's one of the top 15 player. I think he's a top 15, top 10 player in the NBA. I think his talent is. I
What?
think his upside. I think his upside is that much. I mean, honestly, I think we tried
What you
listing it
yo?
before.
What you drinking over there? What you sipping on?
I'm
Top
not
10 in
drinking.
the league?
like
I
top 10
think. I think.
offensively or
I think
overall?
top 10 offense. I
top
think
10
top 10
shooting guard,
offense.
top 10
I think
shooting
top
guard.
10
Top 10
shooting guard.
shooting
I
guard,
think
bro.
shooting.
Top 10 shooting guard or top 10 overall?
I think top 10 shooting guard, and I think
Okay,
top 10.
Oh,
okay.
I
okay,
think he's a
okay,
top,
okay.
and I think talent wise, with I think 100% healthy, he's one of the top 15 players in this league. I mean, honestly, this guy can score. This guy can score at all three levels, and again, just his athleticism is just it's right there with everyone else's. So, but again, the problem is that's if he's 100% healthy. Now, obviously, we know that he's had the issues with health, and so I mean, I agree with you guys. I agree with Don Juan. Honestly, I just don't want to get finessed with the deal. I hope that we can catch a team like the Wizards, like Chicago, that are desperate enough where, we can, if we have to sell off at least, one or two of our picks, we can do that. But obviously don't want to sell I don't want to go ahead and give away all of our picks for a person that is, that's not 100% healthy, and knowing that we might have to owe him 35 for $40
All
million
right,
dollars.
Zebo.
So
Zebo, you have your hat on backwards right here. That's the Leon Rose hat. I'm calling that the Leon Rose hat. All right, you calling Chicago on the phone right now to Zach Lavine. What's your offer?
I'm telling him, I'll give you quickly. I'll give you Cam, and I'll give you a first round for Zach
One
Lavine.
first round pick?
One,
Unprotected?
one and a sec. One unprotected and a second.
All right. Okay, so
Yeah,
you
but
you,
I'm
you
not.
going
But
him.
again, I'm not giving a Donovan Mitchell type of. I'm not giving a Donovan Mitchell type of package, and I don't think I don't think any type of team would actually give that for Zach Lavine right now.
Definitely
So
not.
So
All
yeah, so I
right.
think a first and a second, and yeah, I'll throw in quickly. I'll throw in quickly and Cam in there for Zach.
Okay. Oh, Omar, what you thinking about Zach Lavine trade? Should the Knicks pursue a Zach Lavine trade?
I mean, it goes back to the "there's only one ball" argument, right? Which is if under your trade, Zebo, you're talking about Brunson, Barrett, Randall, and Levine in the same lineup for
Right,
extended minutes. Which, again, there's only one ball. That's the
right,
big thing you'd have to question. And there's a
and the
lot of
defense will and the defense
and
will
defense,
also
of
as well.
course, yeah. And there's a lot of reports about a disconnect in the locker room with Chicago with him there. So you bring in this guy in, and you're getting rid of a positive locker room guy and quickly, and
Right.
you're bringing in Levine. It just feels, I don't know. I just don't buy it. I don't. I know they're saying they're monitoring the situation, which if you're a competent front office, you should monitor every situation,
Yeah.
Right.
right? And so
But
I'm
we
not really
haven't been
sure.
there. We haven't been there for a while, so
Yeah, yeah. It's like, oh, we must be getting them, right?
yeah.
But I don't think I think it's smoke, to be honest. I think Chicago will probably want more draft capital than anything.
Right.
One pick only isn't going to do it. They're probably going to want a couple, even if they are protected. And but ultimately, I don't see the team making the deal for Levine, and especially Thibodeau's the coach. This is the same man that dealt Levine when he was in Minnesota,
When
right?
in Minnesota.
Yep,
So
that's right.
yeah, so maybe who knows if what that relationship is like, right? So that's another kind of iffy situation. So to me,
Yeah.
it's a no on Levine.
Listen,
Great
Yeah.
man,
talent. I'm not taking that away from him, though.
the Bulls could call me right now. I don't have the Leon Rose hat, you feel me? But I got the World Wide West braids, you feel me? So they could call me right now and offer me a second round pick. Ask me for a second round pick for Zach Levine, and I will still say no. This man, let me tell you his contract situation. Next year, he's gonna
Oh
make
man.
40 million. The year
Oof.
after that, he's gonna make 43 million. The year after that, he's gonna make 45 million. And the year after that, he's going to make 48, almost damn near 49 million. 49
Wow.
million at the
Wow.
age of 32. This man took a knee match maintenance day, the first game of the NBA season this year.
Mm.
What do you think? What do you think as he gets older is going to happen to those knees? We do not want an Amari Stoudemire
He's
2.0,
I mean he's
and we don't
28.
want an Antonio McDyess 2.0. We just have no success with NBA players coming to New York with injury history. We just don't have success, and this man is going to get paid a ton of money. And Omar made a great point. There's only one basketball. You imagine Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle, R.J. Barrett, and Zach Lavine playing all these minutes. I mean, Tom Thibodeau is just gonna throw himself. He's gonna quit. He's not even gonna get fired. He's gonna quit because the defense is gonna slip
Well, I'm telling you
dramatically.
right now, this 8 man rotation that they're running right now is just not sustainable. They need we need more people off the bench. We need some I think the Knicks will be aggressive this trade deadline. So that means that someone will again someone's minutes will decline, and so that's
But I don't know if you got.
Zach. I don't again I agree with you. Zach Levine is way too much of a risk right now for us to go ahead and try to put all of our chips on him. But again, I think we are going to be aggressive enough to where we will get we will try to get somebody.
I don't know if you got to see the D Rose interview with Shams, where not interview, it's just a little yeah, interview online. But it to me it sounded like D Rose was kind of saying like, yo, I talked to Tiff. He said McBride is gonna play, and I agree with it, but he's keeping me fresh. He even mentioned the word playoffs there. He's like he's
Yeah.
keeping me fresh, in the playoffs. I'm gonna be. He said I'm gonna be needed. So I think that this 9 man rotation is just unsustainable. We all know it's unsustainable, and I think it will expand eventually. So
Or
let's see what it
when need be, because right now we need to expand it just because, based on the, Obi being out, you saw Grimes being out, so he had to dig a little deeper. But I do think that just like you read it, that's how I see it. I feel like Rose was kind of telling us like, yo, I could be that guy that I don't have to play every game. I'm okay if you keep the rotation nice and tight, but there's gonna be times where I'm gonna be needed. I'm gonna be that guy where a guy like Cam, for instance, maybe might feel some type of disrespect, like, oh, you need me now, like, nah, get
is.
out of here.
I mean, Cam's in a contract year. I mean, him being
Yeah,
on the team makes zero sense. He's trying to get
it's
his next deal, so
Oh,
they
that's
need to
for
trade
sure.
him expeditiously.
yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible because
So I have a quick question for you guys. Who do you guys? I mean, who would you guys who would you guys like for the Knicks to to kind of target someone just off the bench and an actual an actual
That's a
starter or
great question. Yeah,
just
because
like
I was
a
thinking the
plug-in
same.
guy?
Like, do you want to upgrade the starting lineup, right? Like that's or what do you want to upgrade the bench? For me, I
nah.
personally think I would upgrade the bench. I don't want to tap with the starting lineup. I think we found a nice nucleus to start with, and then try to upgrade the bench, like just someone more consistent. You know, we just saw IQ. IQ's been playing great defense, but offensively, he's had a pretty down year. So if we could either upgrade the bench in getting a six man that we could rely, at least giving us 12 to 15 points every day, but consistently. But
Let me throw a name out at you guys. There's been a little bit of noise recently about Terrence Ross being available.
I
Oh,
mean, he's been available for some time now.
Yeah, so
what about this?
somebody
What
like that.
about this? Terrence Ross. That's a great
I
name.
like Terrence Ross. He's a
Yeah,
scorer. Yeah, he's a bucket. He's a bucket.
Yeah, I won
yeah.
him last year.
What about like if the Raptors keep falling? Not even OG. What about Gary Trent Jr.? He's coming up. He's contract eligible as well. That's somebody who's scoring 18 points per game right now off the bench. So that's gonna be an interesting name, but he's gonna want minutes though, that's for sure. But we know that man can get buckets. There's a lot of names out there. There's a lot of names out there, but Terrence Ross, I don't know if Terrence Ross will do that for me. I don't know. I think we need like a big that could shoot. I think we
Another
need like a
big.
yeah. I'm not. I'm
Like a
over the
4 or
Hardenstein
5.
experience. I think we need like a four. I think we could.
Talk about Jokic of the East, man.
Yeah, I'm over Jokic of the East. I think we could put
Damn.
Sims at the five, and we can get like a. It's hard to think of a name, man. Right now we just freestyling.
But how about Bogdanovich, Bojan?
That's not a
Are the Pistons? Are the Pistons? Supposedly they don't want to move him. I'm sure if a team calls
with
for
the right offer.
Bogdanovich and they're like, oh, we're not moving him, they're gonna be like, come on, man, are you serious? Or what are we doing here? But
Exactly.
is he worth a first round pick, quote unquote, which is what they want? Like,
Nah, I
I'm
don't
gonna
think
ask a
so.
question for all three. Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't think
Answer
so.
quickly. Are you willing to give up a first round pick? Doesn't have to be this year, future, anything to improve this roster this year. Don Juan, start up.
A
Yes. All
protected
right.
first round pick, yeah.
All right. What about you, Homo?
Agree. Yeah, protected first. I'd be willing to get rid of him.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
would.
I mean Zeba already throwing first round picks for Zach Lavine, so you know
I
my
said
boy.
one. I said one.
Nah,
I didn't
yeah,
say
yeah,
three or
you said
four.
no,
I didn't
one,
say
one,
three
one.
or four. I just said one.
Yeah, man. But let's go to another trade target. OG. Uh, Now Ian Begley said that the Knicks actually reached out to the Raptors about OG when they were stumbling and bumbling earlier in the year. And Zach Lowe actually said that an OG package might be on par with a Donovan Mitchell
Yes.
trade, which was a little step back. But you saw yesterday, man, that man was playing. He was defending, he was scoring, he was using his body, he was using RJ's move on RJ, just like the post up and the step back.
He blocked RJ last minute.
Yeah, how do you guys feel about an OG, Don Juan?
Hey, I like the guy. He's nice. He does a lot of things that we could use. And he's big, like you said, man. He made RJ look small out there. I'm not gonna lie. But I said earlier I don't want to tap it with the starting lineup, and I felt like OG, if we were to trade for him, is to make him a starter. I don't think, and especially at this point in his career, he doesn't want to come off the bench.
Hmm.
So and plus, if it's gonna be a package a la Donovan Mitchell, similar to that, I'm not for it.
Yeah, for sure. Omar, what you feel about OG?
To your point, Don Juan, it becomes a thing where who was the untouchable guy or who's the guy that broke the Donovan Mitchell thing? It was Quentin Grimes. Now he's in the starting lineup. If you trade for OG Anunoby, Quentin Grimes is going to the bench or he's part of that trade, right?
Yeah, yeah, he's in the
So
show.
if you this team and more importantly this fan base needs to decide what do they want, right? Do they want to develop Quentin Grimes because they think he could be a very serviceable starting shooting guard in this league, or do they want to get rid of him while his value is going up and get somebody like OG Anunoby? It's neither is the wrong answer. It's just what do you want to do, right? To me, I like Grimes a lot, what he brings defensively, but I'm not going to sit here in front and act like OG isn't a baller. And he could play off ball, so he doesn't really need his usage rate isn't crazy. So the fit I feel like is there. It just really depends on what this team's long-term vision for Quentin Grimes really is. If you think he's your long-term shooting guard of the future, maybe, then you don't make the trade. Period.
Yeah. What about if they call it, say, Grimes quickly, Cam Reddish, and let's say two unprotected and two protected picks? How y'all feel about that trade-off?
No,
Not too much.
Yeah.
it's way too much. That's for all. I mean, come on, he's not even improving all. I mean, he's a great. Listen, he's a great defender. I'll say that right now. Just the way he played defense yesterday, he really showed a lot. But that's just way too much for a guy. That's again, we don't. Again, he's not. Again, he's proven as a defensive player, but as as an overall, no, that's just way too much.
I mean, but you're not really trading an all-star. You're trading Grimes quickly, two
No, but
protected.
you're messing up with the chemistry of the team because I think one thing during this win streak is that we are seeing just the effort that everyone's showing, and you have to think about it. If we add in a player, like I said before, that decreases minutes for someone else, and you don't know what's gonna happen with that defensive effort once we go ahead and plug in somebody. So that's actually my concern with actually adding someone to the starting lineup. The more I think about it, and so. That's just for right now. No, I want to see what we do have with this core. If we can plug in somebody from the bench, that's perfect.
Well, let's get off this trade machine. We sounding like Nick's Twitter right now. I feel like Brutus right now. When I click on Brutus' picture and then it's just like a long paragraph of trade machines that we're building. Let's see what they do. Let's see what this front office do. Leon Rose and company. Listen, they haven't landed a plane on a big trade, so I don't see a big trade on the horizon. But let's see what they do. See what they do. They're definitely gonna be aggressive this trade deadline for sure. But let's talk about the breaking news that happened yesterday, where the New York Knicks lost a second rounder for tampering to Jalen Brunson. They lost a 2025 second round pick for Jalen Brunson. Me personally, man, I lose a second round pick in the year 2025 for an all-star and a person averaging 21 points and 8 assists. I'm cheating every single year after that. It doesn't matter. Because if that's what I'm going to lose, that's what I'm going to lose. And I'm going to get my players before it happens. But I'm going to talk to you guys. How unserious is the NBA tampering rules, Don Juan?
Before I answer, your mic is buzzing. But the rules. I mean, bro, you said it right, man. Honestly, I was talking to my uncle about this. He was like, if that's the case, man, I'll give up a first round pick for Jalen Brunson. Like that's how. I mean, he's a Mavericks fan, so he values Jalen Brunson on another scale as well. But second round pick, it is a joke. I mean, this is gonna be a continuous thing until the NBA fixes this. Like, I'm pretty sure that Jalen Brunson wasn't the only one. I think because Mark Cuban, he was mad and kind of there was some type of complaint submitted. So the NBA, made the investigation and made sure to investigate even other moves that the Knicks made. So it's a little salty, but at the same time, I mean, there's been so many deals that have been announced right at 6:01 that something is up, and there's no way to control it. I mean, a lot of these people know each other, agents and whatnot. They go out to dinner, or there's an award ceremony here, something there, a Nike Summit, Adidas something. Like all these people know each other. Is a network within
Motorola
itself.
Summits.
So it's gonna be hard to even like keep track of that. And yeah, I think the NBA is just. It's not gonna be no control of it. Second round pick is almost like a consolation prize. Like, hey, whatever.
Yeah, for sure. Omar, what you thought about the Knicks losing the second rounder?
I don't give two fucks about the fact they lost. We finally got a fucking point guard at the Garden. Yeah, like you guys are saying, if it was a first round pick, I don't even care. Whatever. Worth it. But the thing to your point, Don Juan, is just like the whole tampering thing. This is what the league is. This is a league of relationships. Players talk, agents talk, everybody talks. You're not stopping it. You're not stopping it in the age of social media and smartphones. It's players are going to talk to one another. It is what it is. I did like how the NBA made a point to say, well, this wasn't anything to do with Rick Brunson. We're not going to police a father and a son talk, and which is an important distinction. But like you said, Don Juan, it's like the deals happen 1 minute after free agency opens up, acting like, they just happen to go ahead and contact a team to sign on the dotted line. Tampering is going to happen. It's going to continue to happen. And honestly, I feel like it's mostly like a lot of these small market teams that, feel like they're getting ganged up on by these bigger markets, and not even us, like LA, Miami, those type of teams. And, ultimately the tampering thing only happened with us because, the Mavs are kind of irritated, because they fumbled the fucking bag with Jalen Brunson. They could have got him for so much cheaper, but they were quabbling over like 10 million and then they lost him. And now they're there with us, really, or below us. They're a 500 team, trying to make Christian Wood into Luka's sidekick, and they're mad about it. And, so it doesn't bother me at all. I understand that tampering is going to happen, whether you like it or not. Like, it is what it is to me.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. It's honestly, man, everyone's doing it. We were just so blatant. We were just so blatant with it because we were at that. There were obviously Knicks people at that playoff game. So I just feel like if we didn't show up to that playoff game, this probably would have not happened. But I mean, everyone's doing it. It is. I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, players are talking, coaches are constantly talking. So it is what it is. But
adds a little salt to the wound.
Exactly.
That's the only reason they got mad is because it was real brash. Because it wasn't even just Leon and World Wide West. You got Julius Randle in that bitch. You had all these people in there. Just trying to scout Jalen Brunson and Donovan Mitchell for that matter because it was against the Cavs.
Right.
Nah, yeah, man. Like I said, if we're gonna lose a second rounder for an All-Star this year, possibly, man, I'm cheating every year. That's it. I'm cheating every year. Let's get it, fellas. But let's get some final thoughts here as we wrap the show up. Yeah, fellas, let's see whatever's on your mind. We talk about it here with the Knicks. I'll start up first, man. You really think about the New York Knicks in the last decade. We've won 17 games 2 times. 2 times we won 17 games. So here we are in December with already 18 wins. So, there's a lot of people right here who want to go through the draft or who want to do this. There is no perfect answer, For people that we all have just thoughts and ideas, and we're just throwing things out there. If any of us really knew what to do, we wouldn't be just talking about it without getting paid, We'll be working with a team. So when people are getting mad that the Knicks fans are celebrating wins, just think about all the losing we've done, these past few years. And just think about where we at, finally with a point guard. Finally with you can have your thoughts on RJ Barrett, but you have to admit that he's our guy. We drafted him and he's somebody that we're developing and he averages 20 points a game. That's just all fact. You could say he's a bust or whatever you did, but he's our guy that we drafted. And you see these guys, 6 players that this regime drafted is in the rotation right now. So that's a positive thought right there. So I don't want to be Captain Positive. There's a lot of things still wrong with this team, but you can't go from the bottom to the top overnight. And I hate the word purgatory. I hate when people use that word. Like, how are the Knicks in purgatory? They have at minimum 2 first-round picks every year for the next 3 years, at minimum. So how is that team in purgatory? You look at the last couple MVPs, they've been drafted outside the lottery, when you talk about Jokic and Giannis. And this happens all the time. I was looking at Anthony Simmons the other day. He was drafted 24th. Jalen Brunson was drafted in the second round. So every time you have picks to improve this team, you have to hit, and this front office has shown that they get great value picks. They got Jericho Sims at 58. So my final thought is, man, stop using the word purgatory. It's such a lazy narrative to describe the New York Knicks right now because this team, yeah, if you look right now, okay, yes, they're a mid team. We know that. But you have to zoom out of this year and see the future. And listen, man, I'm feeling good about the future. Feeling good about the future. Don Juan, what's your final thought? I know you wanted to talk about this TNT broadcast, man. I want to hear what you got to say about this TNT broadcast.
Nah, it's funny that you mentioned the happy part because my little brother Adrian, who's a Net fan, he goes, "You Knicks
How did
fans are
you
a little
allow
too
that to
happy."
happen, Don Juan?
What happened?
How did
Exactly.
you allow your old brother
Well,
to
he's a
become a
KD
Nets
fan.
fan?
He's not a
Um,
Net fan.
I
He's
got
not a real Net fan. You know, he's a KD fan. He's been
yeah.
following him everywhere and whatnot. But he hits me up like, "Oh, Nick fans are a little too happy. When do we face them?" I'm like, "Oh, okay. You guys got a low streak. You guys figured it all out. It was a little quiet in Brooklyn, so now you're a little excited and boasting your chest and whatnot." But yeah, that was a little weird though with that game against the Warriors. You know, TNT. You know, the Knicks are a big market. Narrative has been that we are, you know, the laughing stock of the NBA. But you know, those things have changed, right? But these guys that are professionals, these are former NBA players that, you know, I mean, like, granted, these people aren't watching every game. They already got their job, but at the same time, like the Warriors don't even have Stephen Curry, and they're over here just glossing him up, like, oh, Warriors this, Curry that. Like, come on, man. The Knicks are right there, blowing this team out. Give me something good about the Knicks. What have they been doing? What has been clicking? But at the same time, this is why we ourselves do these shows and you know we give our thoughts and we actually break down the game and also tell you what it is. Like I had that game on mute. I was not listening to these guys talk at all. The halftime show, get out of here. Pregame show, I'm sorry, I missed you. And honestly, I'm gonna have to do that with every Nick game that's nationally televised because even ESPN be dropping the ball too. But at the same time, what am I to expect from these national media that they just running narratives and that they and it's partly the Knicks' fault. The Knicks organization as a brand, but that's what the
Yeah,
rebrand is for. You know, we're rebranding for a reason. But hey, we're playing some good ball. Like, what's going on? Y'all still with the same old, same old. Like, change it up now. It's getting boring.
exactly.
It's getting
Exactly.
boring.
Yeah, because Shaq and Kenny and Chuck laughing like, oh, the Knicks, yo, they're not gonna get out the first round and stuff. And it's like, man, who said anything about that? Like, we just are in an 8 game heater right now. We're just playing good basketball, and it's just they want to laugh at us. But Don Juan, you said it. It's partially our fault. The Knicks organization has been ran disaster like for a long time, and now that they're trying to rebrand, they're trying to keep us down. But we're gonna keep on fighting. We're gonna keep on changing the narratives, man. Let's get it. Omar, any final thoughts you have on anything?
Hmm. Yeah, you already know what I'm about to talk about. So, I mean, I just love the fact that this team is, after all these rotation shifts and everything, and that Dallas game was such a demoralizing loss. They've picked it up, turned it around. I'm loving what I'm seeing from the guys that matter. Brunson, Barrett, and Randall. They are all playing at a really high level right now, all averaging over 20 points a game. I think I saw some stat that only once in the last 30 years has that been done or something like that throughout the entirety of a season. And you got to like what you're seeing. To your point, Don Juan, it's frustrating to see the way the national media talks about us. But at the same time, I always attribute that to them hating Dolan more than anything.
Mm,
They're just like,
that's a
fuck
good
this
point.
guy, Jim Dolan. He threw out Charles Oakley, whatever, and they never got over that. And, that's why, shows like this, shows like the show I'm part of exist to kind of give a different perspective than people than when they turn on TNT or ESPN.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we have a point guard, we have a rejuvenated power forward. RJ's coming around with Scott. It's hard not to be positive right now as a Knicks fan, and I'm kind of like a positive fan as is. So I'm already on cloud 9. Every time these guys are hitting open jumpers, I'm just getting ecstatic. And they're bringing it back. They're holding people to under 100 points a lot of these games now. And us who've been watching the Knicks forever, we love that shit. We love that. We love seeing Deuce McBride just aggressively switching on on defense, and we love seeing what these guys are doing. And I just hope to see more of it. And I'm excited about the future. This team's really young. Is like Julius our oldest rotation player right now, and he's like 28. So it's not like we're running out of time. The future I think is very bright, and it's great to see them stacking up these wins right now.
Yeah, man, we picked a direction. If you're watching this on YouTube, we got the two biggest Julius Randle fans at the bottom of the screen right here, Omar and Zebo. These guys love Julius Randle.
Let me just say something real quick, man.
Talk to Zebo.
When Thumbs Down happened, everybody was talking this shit. And, the dude, he just came back and he's been balling out, okay?
Mm-hmm.
He put in the work. He didn't let it bother you. You guys are harassing his fucking wife on Instagram. Yeah. You're talking about
He's talking about you, Triple M. He's talking about you, Triple M.
I don't harass his wife on Instagram. I sat next to her at the Knicks game, man. She's family to me.
Mary's cool with the Randles.
I'm good with the Randles. Don't blame it on me. I'm good with the Randles.
It's like we understand he's not a superstar, okay? And I'm not trying to say he is, but this is a guy who could give you 20, 10, and 5 whenever the fuck he wants, basically. And so I'm just happy to see him legitimately enjoying basketball right now, because last year was tough. Last year sucked for him. And now he's playing well. He's making plays. He's defending better. And as a Julius Randle fan, you can't argue that. And to me, it's always this is the guy who re-signed here, who wants to be the guy here, who wants to succeed here. He's not running away from it. And the same reason I love Brunson, same reason I love RJ. They're staying. They're trying to build something here. And we'll see what happens. Come postseason.
Yeah, for sure. Before I kick it to Zebo here for final thoughts, I've been telling people this for a long time. Julius Randle is an imperfect basketball player. If you can learn his imperfections and live with it, you'll be all right. Because yesterday he's having a great game, he's killing, and at the end the ball just slips out his hand. I mean, there's nothing that you can do about that, And that's just the things that happen with Randle. You saw that against the Bulls game, one of the worst last second shots you will ever see in a basketball game. And the guy was having a great game, and it's just the imperfections. Like Knicks fans are just never gonna forgive that thumbs down for some reason. But he's just an imperfect basketball player that, I'm not trying to trade for a second round pick. You gotta give me some value for Randle. I'm not off you if they want to trade him, you trade him, but give me some value for that, you know what I mean? Because he's a bucket. He can give you 20, 10, and 5. Not a lot of people give you that. But Zebo, give me your final thoughts, man. Anything Knicks.
Omar, you know what I heard from you? We need to start ringing those all-star chants from my boy. That's gonna be my last thought, man. Let's get our big 2 to the all-star game.
Okay.
I'm telling you, if we finish
it's the mid 3, bro. It's the mid 3.
What happened?
It's the mid 3, not our big 2. It's the mid 3.
It's the big 2. It's the big 2. When my boy shoots over 35% from 3, then we'll talk about him being part of the big 3. But for right now, it's just the big 2 right now.
Hey, he's shooting 35 the last few games. He's shooting 35% the last few games.
He's still at like 29%. I just see he still got ways to go. But let's get our big 2 to the All-Star game, man. I'm telling you right now. I feel like if we finish December strong, we need to really talk about getting Jalen Brunson and getting Julius Randle in the All-Star game. Because honestly, I don't see another point guard playing like Jalen Brunson right now. And honestly, Spicy P did his thing yesterday, but honestly, Julius has been doing his thing, honestly. So, and I don't see another forward really messing with him. So let's start. Once December ends, let's start talking about getting our boys to the All-Star game.
There we go, Zebo ringing the All-Star bells for the Knicks already, starting it up. I love it. Yeah, real quickly, man. Before we get up out of here, let's look at the next 4 Knicks games. They're at home against the Bulls. They're at home Christmas Day against the 76ers. Then we go out to the Wild Wild West. Dallas. No, not the Wild Wild. The Midwest. We play Dallas. Then we play the Spurs. The next 4 games, got to get Dallas that payback. Real quickly, everybody, what y'all thinking? I'm gonna start with you, Don Juan. These next 4 games, what y'all thinking? What you thinking? What you thinking, bro? Hurry up.
You know me, man. I'm gonna go with the usual. I'm gonna stick to it. 3-1, brother. 3-1. I've
Three
been
and
doing
one. He
three and
loves
one
that
the last
record.
3, maybe even 4 weeks, and I think I might have hit three out of the 4. So
Yeah, I
we'll
mean,
keep it
when they go on
rolling.
an 8 game winning streak, you looking alright. I ain't gonna hold
So
you.
3-1. There's gonna be a loss somewhere sprinkled in there, but you know what? I'm real confident in a lot of these games, man.
Oh, Omar, what you thinking?
I'm gonna be with Don Juan, man. 3-1.
Oh, 3 and 1 around. Z, I know Zebra. What you say? What you gonna
Man,
say?
we started another streak, man. We're going
4-0.
4-0. Come
Four
on,
and
right?
oh,
Come on,
another
Okay.
streak. Hey man, I've been Captain Grumpy Pants Grinch, so I got to keep it up because they won all these games when I said they was gonna lose. So I'm gonna go 2-2. I don't know. We're gonna go
man.
2-2.
The hinge to me is the Philly game on Christmas Day, right?
Yeah,
Like
Right.
you feel like they
Yeah,
could beat Chicago, you feel like they could get Dallas back, and you feel like they'll beat San Antonio, one of the worst teams in the league.
for sure.
The hinge game really is that game against Philly, on Christmas Day.
Yeah. Well, there's
yeah.
also then the big if is if Grimes is back,
Yeah, of course.
which
Yeah.
from what
He's
I
not
like,
guarding Joel Embiid though.
Right.
he's
Let's not
Yo,
not,
real
he's
quick,
not,
we
but he,
need to
he
really
might guard
start
James
showing love.
Harden.
Yeah, yo, real quick, we need to start showing love to Mitchell Robinson because he's been a
Mm,
Harden,
beast the
we're gonna
last
keep it going.
he's been beast. He's been a
that's a
beast the
good
last few
point.
games. So shout out to the big man.
He's got
Big
to be the
money
best offensive rebounder in the league at this point,
Yep.
right?
oh,
I
for
mean,
sure,
Yep.
man. Right
For
after
sure.
Steven Adams, for sure.
yeah.
Steven Adams is a beast on the ball. But big ups to our guest Omar, man. Thank you for joining the show, bro. Tell people where they can find you, where they can see you at, man. Shout out to Omar, bro.
Oh man, you can find me everywhere. But podcast is Worldwide Knicks with myself, Alex, and Rafa. Catch us on Twitter at WW Knicks Podcast. Catch me personally on Twitter at OmarZHRN. Catch my written shit on Off the Ball, also on my own Substack, which is on my Twitter page as well.
Yeah, for sure. Zebo, what you gotta tell people before we get up out of here?
Yeah, man. Keep liking, keep subscribing, man. We gonna start we gonna keep on putting out these episodes, and yeah, man. Let's go. Let's get another streak going.
Yes, sir. Don Juan.
It's Don Juan signing out, getting ready to hit the motherland, in a couple days. I can't wait. I'm gonna leave y'all, out here supporting the Knicks. Keep it, hold it down, hold down the fort out here, man. We gonna get on another win streak. And like my guy Zebo said, make sure to subscribe, make sure to like the video. And thank you so far to all the supporters, man. You guys have been doing great. But let's keep it going, man. Let's keep running them numbers up.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Don Juan. He gonna be in the motherland for the Christmas. Oof, man. I'm kind of hating on that. That's looking
Right?
crazy. That's looking
Going
spicy for my boy.
warm weather, you feel me?
But you already know the vibes, man. Triple M in the building. Uh, let's start this new winning streak. I keep saying that. Let's start this new winning streak, and everybody, make sure to enjoy your holidays. Have a merry, merry, merry Christmas. A merry Knicksmas as we'll be playing. Make sure to lock in, watch the game, 12 o'clock, and yeah, we had a lot of fun this episode. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. You already know, man. Knicks fans wild and signing out. Peace
Keep
out.
it rolling.